Hello, this is Craig from bitsbox.co.uk. In this video, we are looking at Codex Supplement Traitor Legions. So, this is a very exciting book if you are a Chaos Space Marine player. Essentially, it has lots of formations, and then each individual legion has its own detachment, and special rules, warlord traits, and artifacts. So, really cool. So, you may have seen my videos for the Wrath of Magnus, and that covers all the Tzeentch stuff, and some of that stuff is in this book, so if we skip over any Tzeentch stuff, you can go back to the Wrath of Magnus stuff to view them. The Wrath of Magnus videos turned out they were quite long, so I'm going to maybe break this down into 3 or 4 videos, to be sure. I'm aiming for 3. This video will focus on all the formations, and then I'm going to do 4 legions in the second video and 4 in the third, with the 9th legion being the Thousand Suns, which we've already covered. So let's just crack straight on, shall we? So you'll notice actually it's paperback. It's not hardback, it is a paperback. And it's only £20. Really cool. So absolute bargain for any Chaos Space Marine player. Nice picture of Magnus Red, which we've seen plenty of lately. So there's lots of fluff at the beginning as well. So I'm just going to zip through all that, because we're only going to focus on the rules. So each legion basically has a couple of pages. Anyway, if you're a big Chaos fan, it's well worth reading the rules. And the fluff, sorry. Yeah, it's always nice to have a little bit of information about each legion. I think it's some nice artwork and photos as well. And I have lots of pictures of miniatures. So yeah, the first sort of few pages of this book are just really fleshed out with images and fluff. So not till we get to about page 36 before we actually start getting into rules, and this is just all about yeah, this is all regular stuff, just explaining data sheets and stuff like that. We have a couple of extra special rules for Vindicators and Predators. So, Chaos Vindicators, if this unit contains 3 Chaos Vindicators, they can all fire the Demolisher cannons. The squadron can fire single line breaker bombardment instead of firing normally. To do so, nominate 1 enemy model in the squadron as a firer. With fire as Demolisher cannon, change its type from Large Blast to Apocalyptic Blast, and gain to ignore cover special rules. And then it's giving you options, so you can now take them in squads of 3, and any of them can take a Siege Shield as an upgrade. So essentially it was similar to what we've seen with the Space Marines. Space Marines can take their vehicles in squadrons, and we have the same thing here, and then they can all fire together to make a massive blast. And we have the same with the Predators. While there's 3 Predators in the unit, they all have Monster Hunter and Tank Hunter special rule, and it's just got the regular upgrades for them. Next, kind of Betrayers in here. His rules are essentially exactly the same, I believe. Araman we saw in the Wrath of Magnus, and the new Tzeentch stuff's in here as well. So we've seen all these, and if you want to see them, just look in watch our Wrath of Magnus video part 1, and that covers all the units for Chaos Space Marines, including Magnus himself. Khorne Lord of Skulls is in here as well. Okay, so now we go straight into formations. If any of you own Black Legion, and possibly Crimson Slaughterer, I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you own Black Legion, I think you may be familiar with some of these formations, and we've seen some of them pop up as well. The Maelstrom of Gore, I believe, is already available. However, I'm going to talk through all of them anyway. So Chaos Warband is basically your sort of bog standard core choice, and a lot of legions will have this as a core choice option. It's 1 Chaos Lord, 0 to 1 Sorcerers, and then 1 to 3 units chosen from the following list. So it's Chosen, Chaos Terminators, or Possessed. You then have 2 to 6 units of Chaos Space Marines, 1 to 3 units chosen in any combination of Raptors, Warp Talons and Bikes, and then 1 to 3 units of either Havocs or Hellbrutes. So, special rules. When a model from this Chaos Warband earns a roll on the Chaos Boon table, you can roll twice on the table and choose either one or both of the results. That's quite nice. I like the fact you can choose as well, so because obviously that increases your chance of getting Spawn Hood, but if you can only choose, if you decide to choose one of them, you can ignore the Spawn Hood, and if you get 2 good ones, you can have both of them. So that's really cool. No, excuse me, I've just got a sucking on a cough sweet, so my voice isn't so bad. And all units in the warband have objectives secured, which is really nice for playing objective games. So you can essentially just take a Chaos Space Marine army with this warband and everything gets objective secured. So that's pretty cool. So next we have the Maelstrom of Gore. This is one Chaos Lord who must have the Mark of Khorne, although he gets no additional points, which is quite nice. Or Khan the Betrayer, and it's 4 to 8 units of Khorne Berserkers. So they're special rules. They all have fleet, and they add 3 inches to their charge distances, which is really nice. Once per battle at the start of your movement phase, a Maelstrom of Gore can summon the Red Rain. When it does so, every unit in the formation that is locked in combat is allowed to pile in and fight as if it was the sub-fight phase, but the enemy units cannot fight back. Using this ability does not stop Maelstrom of Gore units from fighting again in the assault phase of that turn. So really cool if you've got a lot of stuff locked in combat and it's the beginning of your movement phase. You can then just attack with them and then carry on as normal and maybe get more attacks in later as well. So really cool if you're taking a World Eaters. You have lots of Khorne Berserkers, and I believe this is their core choice, and we'll see that in one of the next videos. So really cool. Next we have the Lost and the Damned. This is a Dark Apostle and 4 to 9 units of Cultists. Excuse me. Each time a unit of Chaos Cultists from the Lost and Damned is completely destroyed, roll a d6. On a 4+, you can immediately place a new identical unit into ongoing reserves. These new units gain the Outflank special rule, but otherwise count as being part of the original formation. So roll a d6 as described above if they are also destroyed. Victory points are awarded as normal for new units in this formation that have been completely destroyed. So that's quite good. There's a good chance, 50-50 chance of them coming back. So if you've got full 9 units, you can end up with about another 4 coming in. So they'd be very hard to kill. They've got 8 flank, they could be good for objectives. They also gain Zealot if they're within 6 inches of the Dark Apostle. Next we have the Hellforged War Pack. So it's a Warpsmith, and there's a few formations that take Warpsmiths with other vehicles. And it's 3 to 5 units of in any combination of Hellbrutes, Maul Fiends, Forge Fiends, and Defilers. So whilst the Warpsmith is alive and on the battlefield, they can essentially use Demon Forge twice. It's pretty nice. That's not twice in one turn, obviously, and twice in the game. And one vehicle model can be nominated, or must be nominated, as the Alpha. They gain the character, unit type, and a 4+ invuln save. And if that model is completely destroyed, then all other models in the Warpack gain Rage. So pretty good. Not great if you're just taking Forge Fiends, but everything else have pretty decent combat options. So if they all got Rage, it's not too bad. But yeah, it's okay. Then we have the Helldrake Terror Pack, which is 3 to 4 Helldrakes. Enemy units are within 12 inches of 2 models from this Terror Pack reduce their leadership by 1. Enemy units are within 3 models reduce their leadership by 2, and if they're in 12 inches of 4 models, then they reduce their leadership by 3. It's a bit meh, but too bad. When performing a Vector Strike with a model from the Terror Pack against a target that is pinned, fallen back, or has gone to ground, the target unit suffers D6 Strength 7 AP2 hits instead of only 1. Very circumstantial, and maybe use it with other things to try and pin units by decreasing their leadership, but I don't know, there's better uses for Helldrakes, isn't there, really? So yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that one, but if you have a lot of Helldrakes and take them, there's no disadvantage to not doing it. So yeah, not brilliant, and a lot of these are okay. They're not going to set the world alight, but they are what they are. Next we have the Cult of Destruction. So it's 1 to 3 Warpsmiths and 3 to 5 units with either Obliterators or Mutilators in any combination. So essentially Obliterators, because no one takes Mutilators, they look terrible and they play even worse on the battlefield, unfortunately. However, at the start of the Chaos Space Marine movement phase, each Warpsmith in this formation can perform a set of embryonic guidance rituals on 1 unit of Obliterators or Mutilators. From a formation that is within 8 inches. Each Warpsmith must pick a different unit to perform a ritual upon. So what does this ritual do? Well, if a unit of Obliterators is selected, it can shoot twice at the same unit in the shooting phase. And if a unit of Mutilators is selected, it can attack twice after piling in. You must carry out the first set of attacks to completion, then carry out the second set of attacks. A unit must use different weapons for the 2 different sets of attacks and cannot use a weapon that used in the previous turn. So it's not bad. Being able to shoot twice with Obliterators is nice. If it was at different units, it would be really good. I would certainly be more interested in taking it. You need 3 to 5 squads of them, but of course I think you can take them singly. So it's not bad. Little tax on the Warpsmith, because the Warpsmith is not going to do much on his own. Fist of the Gods, and once again our friend the Warpsmith is here. And it's 3 to 5 units of any combination of Predators, Vindicators and Land Raiders. All vehicles that are within 12 inches of a Warpsmith has a 6+ invuln. And the Warpsmith also gets a 1+ bonus when making attempts to repair a vehicle. They're not bad. If you plan on taking the models, then it's a nice little boost, but excuse me, again, it's not a game changer. It's not brilliant, but if you have the vehicles and you're taking a detachment, then you have to take these formations sometimes. And so yeah, again, not great, but there's no downside to taking them if you plan on taking the miniatures anyway. So that's the way I look at it. Now the Raptor Talon, this one I actually do quite like. It's actually a core choice for Night Lords. We'll look at that. We'll look at them in a later video. It's a Chaos Lord who must have a jump pack. However, he gets it for free. That's 3 to 5 units in any combination of Raptors and Warp Talons. Units in this formation can charge on the same turn they arrive from Deep Strike Reserve, but also always count as making a disordered charge when they do so. But it's still not bad though. It's even better if you're Night Lords, and we'll see why in one of the other videos. Enemy units that are charged by 2 or more units from the Raptor Talon must subtract 2 from their leadership until the end of the turn. But if you've got a Raptor heavy army, it's pretty good to be able to assault on the tiny Deep Strike game. Obviously, you want to get close enough to the enemy and hope you don't mishap, but still nice to be able to do that. Next we have the Terminator Annihilation Force, which is 1 Chaos Lord or Sorcerer who must have Terminator armor, but again they get it for free, which is quite nice. You may also take Abaddon or Typhus instead of the Lord or Sorcerer, and you can have 3 to 5 units, and that's 3 to 5 units of Terminators. So, at the start of the game, before deployment, you nominate one unit in the enemy army. Units in this formation have the Hatred special rule when making attacks against the nominated unit. In addition, units from this formation can make a shooting attack against the nominated unit immediately after they deploy by Deep Strike if it is within range and line of sight. And this does not stop them from shooting again later in the same turn, either at the same or a different target. So that's not bad. Now if there's a unit you really want to kill, then you can deep strike these guys in, they all get free shot at them. That's all the units can do it, so if you've got 5 Terminator squads deep striking in around an enemy HQ unit or vehicle or something you don't like, you can just shoot at it. That's a free shot. Yeah, that's not bad, but expensive, obviously, because it's Terminator heavy, but if you're taking a Terminator heavy list, then yeah, it's not bad. Also, if that enemy unit is completely destroyed, you can immediately pick a new enemy unit as a replacement target, and so on and so on. So if one squad drops in and kills that nominated unit, say in like turn 2 or something, and you can pick a new one, and another squad can drop in and they get their free shot and stuff, so that's not bad. You get hatred against them as well, so yeah, not too bad. That's not too bad. Next up we have Favoured of Chaos, and this is a Demon Prince and 3 to 5 units of Possessed. Units of Possessed from the Favoured of Chaos that are within 12 inches of their Demon Prince at the start of the fight subphase receive the benefit of all 3 mutations from their mutation table rather than 1. That makes Possessed viable if you can get that. Otherwise I'm just not a massive fan of Possessed at all, but to be fair, even if Possessed got all their mutations like all the time, I think that still makes them an okay unit. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Possessed. They're alright. Getting all the mutations is quite nice. It does make them quite viable, but if you don't get that, then they're not too great really. They're just Possessed. But if you're having a Possessed theme army, again, that's quite fun. So next we have a Trinity of Blood, and this is one that everyone can afford. It's 3 Lord of Skulls. I don't know many people have 1, let alone 3. I mean, I don't even have 1, and I have a massive Chaos army. That's not to say I'm not going to get one, mind you, because I do want one at some point. They all gain Rampage. At the start of this formation's movement phase, any enemy units locked in combat with any models from this formation are engulfed in a scorching storm of rage-fueled energy. Affected units suffer a number of Strength 6 AP4 hits with the Ignores, Cover and Soul Blade special rules equal to the number of models in the unit, and any wounds caused are randomly allocated. Weapons used by a model from this formation have Twin Link special rule if they are used to attack a target that has already been attacked by another model from this formation earlier in the shooting phase. Not much to say about that. I'll be surprised if anyone ever takes it. They're 888 points each, and that's 3 of them. Maybe in massive games, but yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see this on the battlefield. So let's move on to the Chosen of Abaddon. So it's 1 to 4 Chaos Lords or Sorcerers in any combination, and a unit of Chosen or Chaos Terminators in any combination for each Chaos Lord or Sorcerer. It's quite an elite force. During deployment, each Chaos Lord and Sorcerer must join one of the units of Chosen or Terminators, and only one character can join each unit in this way. As long as that character is on the battlefield, the unit gains Fearless. Before deployment, roll on the Chaos Boon table. For each Chaos Lord or Sorcerer in this formation, re-roll on any results of Spawn Horde or Dark Apotheosis. So, I mean, it's not bad, because if you plan on taking just 1 Chaos Lord and some Chosen or Terminators, it could be a nice little formation just to bung them in, get your free Gift of Mutation, essentially. And if you have Gift of Mutation as well, then you can roll twice on the Boon table, so it's not bad. You gain Fearless as well. Yeah, it's nice when you get ones where you don't need too many units to even be able to take it, so you can sort of find a place for them. But I think it's a Black Legion detachment, and I think some of these ones, the ones we're seeing now, are like Black Legion ones. So next we have the Bringers of Despair. So it's Abaddon the Spoiler, plus a unit of Terminators. Chaos Terminators at part of this formation have Ballistic Skill and Weapon Skill of 5. Really nice. while Abaddon is joined to the unit, you can reroll 1 lookouts for him each phase. Okay, it's alright. But the weapon skill and bliss skill of 5, if you plan on taking Terminators with Abaddon, then yeah, that's nothing to be sniffed at. So that's quite nice. Next we have the Hounds of Abaddon, which is a Chaos Lord, 1 to 3 units of Khorne Berserkers, 1 to 3 units of Chaos Space Marines, and 1 to 3 units of either Raptors, Warp Talons, or Chaos Spikes in any combination. Any unit that has the option to take Mark of Khorne must do so, but again it is free. Once per game, at the start of any of your turns after the first, you can declare a mass assault. For the duration of that turn, units from this formation can charge in the assault phase even if they made a run move in the same turn. If a unit from this formation makes a successful charge, and the total roll for this charge range is 8 or more, you get +1 strength till the end of the assault phase. So not bad if you plan on taking these units, then yeah, it's quite nice to be able to... Essentially it's like a war, isn't it, where you can... once per game you can run and charge. And you get the +1 strength bonus as well, if your charges are over 8 inches. Next we have a Demon Engine pack, which is a Warpsmith and 2 Forge Fiends or Mauler Fiends in any combination. After deployment, but before the first turn, you can nominate 1 character in the enemy army. All Forge Fiends and Mauler Fiends from this formation have preferred enemy special roll against a character. If a nominated character is slain by a vehicle from this formation, that model regains 1 hull point that's lost earlier in the battle. At the start of each shooting and assault phase, you can nominate a Forge Fiend or Mauler Fiend from this formation as within 12 inches of a Warpsmith. Until the end of the phase, that model uses a Warpsmith's weapon skill or ballistic skill instead of its own. That's actually quite nice, because I believe they might actually be weapon ballistic skill 5. I don't have a book right here. Bear with. But even if they're 4, that's still quite good. Warpsmith. Yeah, he's ballistic skill 5, so that's really good if you're taking Forge Fiends. And you can do that every turn. So yeah, to be able to have ballistic skill 5 Forge Fiends, if you plan on taking a couple of Forge Fiends, then definitely take this formation. It's really good. Okay, next we have the Cyclopia Cabal, which is 3 to 5 regular sorcerers. Their special rule is they essentially they get a psychic power called Shroud of Deceit. Select 1 model from the Cyclopia Cabal to lead it in a dark ritual. That model can attempt to manifest the Shroud of Deceit psychic power for each other sorcerer from this formation within 12 inches. You can add 1 extra dice to the psychic test, and they do not cost any warp charge points. The Shroud of Deceit is very similar to one of the Tzeentch powers we saw in Wrath of Magnus. Essentially, you target a non-enemy vehicle unit within 30 inches, so it's slightly better than the Wrath of Magnus one. And that target must not be locked in combat, and then you can immediately make a shooting attack with it as if it was part of your own army. So that's really nice. Unlike the Wrath of Magnus power, that unit doesn't get pinned afterwards though. So essentially you can control another unit. And it's not bad, you know. Sorcerers are quite cheap, so... Next we have the Tormented. Again, this is another formation that uses Possessed. It's 1 Demon Prince and 2 to 5 units of Possessed this time. Units of Possessed from the Tormented have Weapon Skill Initiative 5 and Rending. However, any unit of Possessed that is not locked in combat at the start of the turn must take a leadership test. If it fails, the unit can only move d6 inches in the movement phase, as it is racked with mutative spasms. Units that are within 18 inches of a Demon Prince pass this test automatically. So yeah, this one's a lot better, I think, than the other one. Again, it's a Black Legion detachment, so I'm not sure if other Chaos Space Marine Legions can take it, but yeah, I like this one better. To have the Weapon Skill Initiative 5 and Rending as well, it makes them actually quite viable. So yeah, if you plan on taking Possessed in Black Legion, then I prefer this one over the other one. And then we have the Black Legion Warband, which is essentially the same as the Chaos Warband. And I think all the squads are actually very similar. You've got a Chaos Lord, 0 to 1 Sorcerers. It has 2 to 6 units of Chaos Space Marines or Chosen. And then 1 to 3 units of Chaos Space Marine Terminators or Possessed. 1 to 3 units of Raptors, Warped Hounds or Bikes. 1 to 3 units of Havocs or Hellbrutes. So you don't get objectives secured with these. You still get the Chaos Boon thing, where you can roll twice. But instead of objectives secured, if an enemy unit is completely destroyed by a unit from this warband, all other units from the same Black Legion warband can reroll hit and wound rolls of 1 until the end of a phase. So that's quite nice. I'd probably rather have objectives secured, mind you. Okay, so next we just have the War Cabal, War Coven, the Zangor War Herd, Sekhmet Conclave, and Exile, the Rahati War Sect. These are all in the Thousand Suns Wrath of Magnus book. So if you watch part 1 of that, I'll go over all of them. So lastly, I think these are the last 2 formations, this is where we're going to leave the video. We have the Plague Colony. So it's the Chaos Lord or Typhus. And it's 3 to 7 units of Plague Marines. So this is a Death Guard detachment, and this is their core choice. And they all gain Fear. I don't know what's the obsession with Nurgle and Fear. But GW just like to just hand out Fear to all the Nurgle stuff, and it barely comes into play. Especially against lots of stuff I play against, at least anyway. They also have the Enervating Pestilential, which I'll probably pronounce completely wrong, aura. So, anyway, enemy models within 7 inches of any Plague Colony units at the start of the fight subphase must reduce their weapon skill and initiative by 1. If this formation includes the maximum number of units, the maximum number of units at the start of a battle, then enemy models within 7 inches of any unit in this formation also reduce their toughness by 1. So it's not bad. That does come in handy because obviously Plague Marines are initiative 3, so against regular Space Marine you're putting them down to initiative 3 as well, so you're going at the same time, and that reduces their weapon skill as well, so not bad. Plague Marines are an interesting unit because they're okay at shooting and they're okay in combat, but their sort of main thing is just sort of survivability, so yeah, it could help them get a little bit better in close range shooting and combat, so not too bad. Lastly we have the Cacophony. This is the Emperor's Children detachment, and it's also one of their core choices. It is a Chaos Lord or Lucius the Eternal, and it's 3 to 6 units of Noise Marines. They all gain Split Fire, which is really nice. I actually really like that because then your Blast Masters can go off and shoot sort of higher value targets, or you keep your Sonic Blasters for the more lighter armoured troops. So that's really nice. Also, all sonic weapons used by units from this formation have the Shred special rule. If this formation includes a maximum number of units at the start of a battle, then all attacks made by sonic weapons are resolved at +1 strength. So that's really nice if you... And it's 3 to 6 units, because obviously 6 being Slanish's favoured number. Still quite pricey to take 6 units of Noise Marines, but if you get all +1 strength and Shred, that's a really nice bonus for them. So yeah, if you're doing a Noise Marine heavy army, then this is a core choice as well for the Emperor's Children. So yeah, you know, that's quite solid really. I quite like that. Okay, so that's the formations, and next up we'll go into some of the legions, and I'm going to look at that in the next video. So I'm going to try and get these videos up one every day, possibly. They'll certainly all be up within a few days. So this is just the first one I want to make, and I want to sort of keep them all around the half-hour mark, which I've managed to do, as long as I stop babbling on now. So hope you enjoyed this video, looking at all the formations. In the next video, I'm going to look at the first 4 legions in this book, and we'll look at their artifacts, warlord traits, and detachments. They all have essentially 4 pages, so we'll be looking at that. And then in the third video, I'll look at the other 4. And of course, as I said, Tzeentch was already mentioned in Wrath of Magnus, so if you haven't watched the Wrath of Magnus Part 1, you can watch that. And Part 2 of Wrath of Magnus covers the Chaos Demons and the Psychic Powers. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a really great book. Essential for any Chaos Space Marine player, in my personal opinion. All that's left to say really is thank you so much for watching. As always, you can give it a like if you enjoyed this video. And you can also subscribe to our channel if you want to keep up to date with future videos. Of course, part 2 and part 3 of this video will be coming very shortly. So, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.